For a long time, family content on YouTube was presented as something different. It wasn't meant to feel produced, nor was it meant to feel scripted. It was meant to feel like real life. Parents filmed everyday moments. Kids were just being kids. Viewers were invited into homes under the idea that nothing was forced and nothing was staged. Compared to traditional television, this kind of content felt honest and harmless. And, for a while, that illusion worked. Family vlogging grew because it appeared safe. Birthdays, challenges, pranks, milestones, all wrapped in the promise that the camera was simply there to capture memories. The presence of an audience didn't seem to matter. The camera was treated as just another member of the family. But as the views increased, something changed. Private moments became content, emotions became storylines. Children who could not fully understand what it meant to be watched by millions became central to an algorithm that never stops demanding attention. More energy, more drama, more reactions. The line between documenting family life and producing entertainment slowly began to blur. In the eyes of many critics, it eventually disappeared entirely. And that is exactly the environment the McFive Circus existed in. At first glance, the McFive Circus looked like any other loud, chaotic family YouTube channel. Bright thumbnails, big reactions, kids having fun. But if you watch long enough, something starts to feel off. The stunts get riskier, the reactions feel rehearsed, and the kids never seem to get a break from the camera. So today, we're taking a closer look at the McFive Circus and why so many people believe this channel crossed that line a long time ago.
What?
Now, for those of you who don't know these guys, the McFive Circus is a family channel featuring 5 members: Kelly, the mother, Blaine, the father, and their 3 kids, Jordan, Isabel, and Preston, who share videos online full of stunts, aerial tricks, gymnastics, and everyday family moments. My name is Kelly, and I'm the mama of the McFive Circus. We are a family who started circus during the pandemic. When things locked down in New Jersey, I knew I wanted to learn something new. So I taught myself and my kids aerial skills from home, and what was just going to be a little hobby became so much more. I started to share our journey on social media. People across the world loved hearing our inspirational stories and loved our motto, the circus way. We even appeared on The Kelly Clarkson Show in January 2021. From there, things really took off. Like we said on the surface, it looks like a typical family YouTube channel. The kids playing games, taking on challenges, showing off their skills, and reacting dramatically while Kelly and Blaine film and guide the action. The videos are bright, loud, and fast-paced, made to grab attention and entertain young viewers. In fact, most of the channel's fans are kids, drawn in by the energy, colors, and constant action. But that couldn't be further from the truth, using their oldest daughter's mental health struggles for views.
You are none of us. You're my beautiful baby girl. My first baby.
Oh.
To making the kids perform risky stunts and participated in scripted content,
My baby! My baby! I'm not a baby! It's dead!
and even dehumanizing their middle child by referring to her as an it,
And maybe you're wondering, just maybe, how does it get on the balcony? Let me show you.
Me, Red Clever!
the McFive Circus has sparked serious conversation online about how far a family channel can go for clicks. And even with all this, they have built a huge following and keep millions of viewers coming back, most of whom are kids. While the videos are designed to grab attention, many people online wonder whether the kids on the channel are truly enjoying themselves or just performing for the camera. That being said, let's take a closer look at the channel, the family, and the controversies that have made the McFive Circus one of the most talked about family channels on YouTube. Now, there are countless instances that perfectly show just how deeply wrong this family channel really is, and how obsessed it seems to be with morbid ideas, all for the sake of attention and clout. But one example that immediately stood out to us involved their dog, and it says a lot about the kind of content they're willing to make. At one point, the channel uploaded a video featuring their middle child, Isabel, holding a stuffed toy that looked almost exactly like their real dog. On its own, that might not seem unusual, but when you look at the context surrounding the situation, it becomes a lot more uncomfortable. The McFive family had a dog named Barbie, who was featured frequently on the channel. Barbie appeared in many videos and was treated as a part of the family's on-camera presence. Over time, the channel even uploaded multiple videos with clickbait titles that suggested the dog had died. In those videos, the titles implied something serious or tragic had happened, but by the end, it was clear that the dog was still alive. These moments were framed for shock and emotional reactions rather than reality. Eventually, though, the dog actually did pass away. After Barbie's death, the family uploaded a video showing Isabel holding a stuffed animal, made to look just like the dog. The toy closely resembled Barbie in size, shape, and appearance. However, what stood out was how the moment was presented to the audience. In the video, Isabel is shown holding the stuffed dog and saying, "This is my dead dog, Barbie."
This is my dead dog, Barbie. Barbie, say hi. Hi. But I miss her because she was born before me. She's been here my whole life. And now she's not.
Isabel was around 10 years old at the time. This was not a video she filmed or uploaded herself. The scene was recorded, edited, and shared by the parents, meaning an adult had made the decision to turn this moment into content. For many people watching, the situation felt deeply uncomfortable. Instead of being handled privately, it was placed in front of a camera and shared with millions of viewers. Isabel was positioned to speak about her dead dog while holding a replica of it, with the moment framed as a part of the channel's ongoing content rather than a private family experience. What added to the discomfort was the reality behind the scenes. Someone had to decide to recreate the dog as a toy. Someone had to place it in her hands. Someone had to prompt her to talk to the camera. All of these choices were made by adults, not by a child who might not fully understand the weight of what she was being asked to do. And this incident didn't exist in isolation. It fit into a broader pattern on the channel, where emotional moments, personal experiences, and sensitive topics were regularly turned into content. For many people watching online, this video became another example of how the McFive Circus consistently blurred the lines between family life and performance, even when it involved grief and loss. But to understand how things escalated to this level, you have to start at the very beginning. The McFive Circus officially began in early 2020, and surprisingly, it didn't start off as a family channel at all. In the beginning, the channel featured only Kelly, the mother, and had nothing to do with kids, challenges, or scripted storylines. Like a lot of people at the time, Kelly found herself stuck at home during the COVID-19 pandemic, when gyms and fitness studios were shut down. Wanting to stay active, she turned to exercise as a way to keep busy and maintain her fitness. According to Kelly, this was when she became interested in aerial gymnastics. She said that she reached out to her sister-in-law, who'd already had experience in aerial arts, and learned the basic fundamentals from her. From there, Kelly claims she taught herself the rest by watching YouTube videos and practicing at home.
What made you want to do this?
Yeah, so when our gym closed, I knew I wanted to try something new that was active inside, and my sister-in-law, Melissa, is an aerial subs instructor, so I reached out to her to see if she could get us started and teach us a few things, and then from there, we learned everything else off the internet, and we just love it.
The early content on the channel reflected this. It was mostly focused on Kelly performing aerial routines, showing her progress and documenting her workouts rather than trying to entertain a large audience. At first, the channel appeared to be more of a personal project than anything else. There was no branding around the family, no flashy thumbnails, and no exaggerated reactions. It was simply Kelly sharing clips of her learning a new skill during lockdown. Over time, however, the content began to shift. As Kelly continued posting, she started presenting herself not just as someone learning aerial gymnastics, but as someone skilled enough to teach it, related to aerial gymnastics. At some point during this period, Kelly claimed that she'd completed a certification related to aerial gymnastics. This certification, according to her, qualified her to instruct others and teach aerial techniques safely. This was a major shift in how the channel positioned itself. What started as a personal fitness outlet slowly began to resemble an instructional platform, with Kelly presenting herself as an experienced aerialist rather than a beginner documenting her progress. This change laid the foundation for everything that came next. The channel was no longer just about personal workouts or self-improvement. It was now centered around teaching, performing, and showcasing aerial skills. And as the content evolved, it opened the door for others to be brought into the videos, eventually transforming what began as a solo fitness channel into something much larger. Once Kelly positioned herself as someone who could teach aerial gymnastics, the content on the channel began to change. Her videos started featuring her kids more frequently, first by showing them learning aerial skills and practicing routines under her instruction.
Wow, good job. Ready together? Ready? Then we're gonna do nice straight straddle. And hold it. You got this. Ready? Go up. 1, 2, 3, hook. 1, 2, 3, hand. 1, 2, 3, hold again. Straddle again. I got you. Ready? 1, 2, 3, down. 1, 2, 3. Good job, buddy. That was so good. Dude, you're like Superman. Oh, you're like Batman. I see you got your Batman shirt on. Buddy, that was so good. Let me see your muscles. Just hit yourself in the head.
Early on, this content focused on training, repetition, and progress, with Kelly guiding them through movements and helping them improve on camera. At this stage, the McFive Circus was still mostly posting unscripted content, centered around skill building, rather than storylines or exaggerated reactions. As time went on, the kids appeared in videos more consistently, and the channel slowly shifted from being about Kelly alone to being about the family as a whole. Eventually, their father, Blaine, also began making appearances. He was positioned sort of like a safety officer who cared more about his own safety than the kids.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yay, let's do it.
Okay, so, hun, here's the first one. So now we have 3. Let's see which one scared you the most. I really like this video already, and we haven't even started yet.
At first, his role seemed limited, but his presence marked another turning point in the channel's evolution. The McFive Circus was no longer just an aerial gymnastics page. It was clearly becoming a family channel. Little by little, the focus drifted away from aerial skills and toward the family dynamic itself. Vlog-style videos began to show up more often, along with unboxing, casual challenges, and day-in-the-lifestyle content.
Hi, it's Little Mama from the McFive Circus, and I'm opening a LOL Remix hair flip. And look at this disc on the box. And it comes with 15 surprises. Here we go. It's blue with a kind of disc on it. And here's the LOL. I have my surprises. There's so many of them.
Now, believe it when we say that these videos placed far less emphasis on technique and training and much more on reaction, personality, and entertainment. Over time, this type of content became more frequent, while the aerial gymnastic videos appeared less and less. It's difficult to pinpoint exactly when this shift fully happened or what motivated it. What is clear, though, is that the channel's identity gradually transformed. What began as a fitness and skill-based page slowly turned into a full family brand, with the kids appearing in nearly every upload. Whether this was Kelly's plan from the start remains unclear. The channel may have originally been meant to document her progress or attract potential clients by showing her ability to teach aerial skills. But as family-focused videos started performing better, the channel leaned further in that direction. Over time, the McFive Circus moved away from skill demonstration and toward turning family life itself into content, setting the foundation for everything that came next. As the McFive Circus continued to grow, their content eventually reached beyond YouTube and into mainstream media. One of the biggest moments for the channel came when the family appeared on The Kelly Clarkson Show during Season 2, Episode 83. According to Kelly herself, this appearance played a major role in boosting the channel's growth. She's even written on the McFive Circus website that being featured on the show helped bring in more viewers and expand their audience. On paper, this sounds like a huge win. A daytime talk show appearance is something most YouTube creators never get, especially family channels. But when you actually look at what happened during the segment, it raises some interesting questions. During the appearance, Kelly Clarkson didn't spend much time interacting with the parents at all. Instead, the focus was almost entirely on the kids.
I have to ask you, I'll start with you, Isabel, what's your favorite move?
My favorite move is the triple star.
The triple star? Okay, this is a...
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, snap. Oh, you are young, so you're not fearing what could happen. Jordan, what's your favorite?
My favorite trick is the butterfly then go into a split.
Oh my gosh.
The conversation centered around their favorite aerial skills, their performances, and their fearless personalities. Kelly and Blaine were present, but they were largely in the background. This brings up an uncomfortable but important point. Would the McFive Circus have ever made it onto national television without the kids? And beyond that, would the channel have ever grown to the size it did if the children were not the main attraction? We mean, the show clearly was not interested in Kelly as a fitness instructor or Blaine as a parent. What made the family marketable was the fact that the kids could perform impressive aerial stunts and do so in a way that was entertaining on camera. The children were the product being showcased. Without them, there's a strong chance the channel would have remained a small niche fitness page instead of becoming a viral family brand. This moment also reflects a pattern that would continue to grow throughout the channel's history. As the McFive Circus gained more attention, the kids were increasingly placed front and center, while the parents remained behind the scenes, managing the content and directing the narrative. Opportunities like this television appearance reinforced the idea that the channel's success was directly tied to the children's involvement. While appearing on The Kelly Clarkson Show helped the channel grow, it also solidified the direction the McFive Circus was heading. The kids were no longer just part of the channel, they were the reason it existed at this scale. And once that level of exposure and success was reached, there was little incentive to step back. Instead, the pressure to keep performing, keep uploading, and keep growing only increased. And as the channel continued to chase views and attention, the line between showcasing talent and exploiting it became harder to ignore. By the time the McFive Circus had fully established itself as a family channel, each member had settled into a very specific on-camera role. These roles were not subtle, and they were not accidental. Over time, the family stopped appearing as individuals and instead began functioning like recurring characters in an ongoing show. And at the center of it all is Isabel, often referred to as Lil Mama, and at times, shockingly, as It. That nickname alone raises some serious questions, but it will be unpacked later. For now, what matters is how central Isabel is to the channel. She is the poster child of the McFive Circus. Almost every video features her in some way, whether she is performing stunts, reacting dramatically, or placed directly in the middle of high-energy situations designed to drive engagement. The channel revolves around her presence, her reactions, and her ability to carry attention. One example comes from a video titled, "I Couldn't Watch My Brother Cry Anymore." In the clip, her younger brother Preston is shown crying while tied up in the aerial skills they used for stunts, and Isabel shoots him with a Nerf gun. You could argue that the video is probably staged, and that may be true. But staged or not, it doesn't change the fact that two parents were behind the camera, filming and uploading a scene where one child is visibly distressed and another is encouraged to act it out for entertainment. Then there's Jordan, their oldest daughter, who's regularly referred to as the babysitter.
I'm stuck for real.
Well, maybe you should have been nicer to your babysitter.
I didn't do anything.
In this clip, Kelly talks about the babysitter. Keep in mind, she's referring to her own daughter. This is not a nickname given by viewers, but one that the parents themselves openly use. Calling your own child the babysitter is strange, especially when she's still a kid. It implies that responsibility for the younger sibling falls on her rather than the parents. Even if framed as a joke, the label itself is uncomfortable. It suggests a dynamic where caregiving is shifted onto a child, which raises questions about why a parent would publicly define their daughter in that way. We'll get deeper into Jordan's role later, but even at a surface level, the choice to brand her as the babysitter feels inappropriate and telling. Now, aside from this, Blaine, the father, plays several roles at once. He refers to himself as the safety coordinator, wears a helmet in many videos, and is widely known by the fanbase as Helmet Guy.
It turns out that there's a level of flexibility that you need for this, which is something that I actually don't have. So for me, I created the position of safety coordinator. And that's why you'll always see me wearing my helmet, because there's a level of danger in the aerial silks.
Yeah.
So they've nicknamed me Helmet Guy.
That fan base, notably, is almost entirely made up of children. Blaine is constantly shown worrying about his daughter's safety, yelling in panic or frustration when stunts are happening. But the irony is hard to ignore. While he's the one shouting and acting anxious about potential injuries, he's also the one wearing protective gear. The kids performing the stunts are not. His fear, anger, and stress are filmed and exaggerated, turning concern into entertainment instead of a reason to stop filming or intervene. Blaine also regularly takes on a villain role in the family storylines. He's portrayed as the parent who hates aerial skills, who wants the stunts to stop, and who constantly clashes with the kids over their performances. One of the clearest examples of this is the silk cutting incident. After Isabel performs a somewhat risky aerial trick, Blaine suddenly becomes angry and cuts down the silks.
On the silks, you know, when you wrap yourself up and then you tumble. She was doing that, and then all of a sudden the dad's like,
There's no yelling or serious discussion about safety. He simply reacts, pulling out a cutting tool, and destroys the equipment while Kelly records.
What are you doing?
Immediately after, all of the kids begin crying. Isabel grabs the silks and runs away, and the camera follows. Kelly then films herself chasing Isabel into the woods, where she conveniently finds the silks already set up on a tree.
Come on, come on.
and then she then finds her in the tree of all the silks.
We mean, the setup happens far too quickly for a child to have done it alone, especially given the technical nature of rigging aerial equipment. The sequence strongly suggested that the moment was scripted, yet it's presented as emotional and chaotic, designed to feel real to the audience. Another notable incident involving Blaine centers on one of the channel's most extreme examples of clickbait. A video was titled exactly, "The Baby Died." The title alone is shocking, especially for a channel with a child audience. In the video, however, no baby dies. Instead, Blaine is shown sitting on the floor, drinking milk from a baby feeder, while Isabel performs a trick. Blaine is framed as the baby in the title. The disconnect between the title and the actual content is jarring and deliberately misleading. Using language like "the baby died" purely for clicks crosses the line, especially when paired with visuals made to look playful or comedic. It trivializes death, while knowingly manipulating a young audience that's far more likely to take titles literally. This incident will be unpacked further later in the script, but even at this stage, it highlights how far the channel is willing to go to generate attention. Across these moments, Blaine's presence consistently serves the same purpose. Whether he's cutting the silks, yelling in a helmet, or being used as the subject of disturbing clickbait, his role adds spectacle and tension. His actions are filmed, edited, and packaged as entertainment, reinforcing the idea that conflict and shock are not accidents on the channel, they're features. Now let's move on to Preston, the youngest child, who appears in videos far less frequently than his sisters. And when he does appear, it's usually in reaction-based roles rather than leading ones. The imbalance is noticeable, and while the channel never explains why, it contributes to the sense that each child is used differently, depending on what works best for the content. Kelly, the mother, is the one filming most of the time, unless she's actively teaching. She's also the one who started the channel and shaped its direction. Kelly is certified, most likely, but certification in aerial gymnastics exists on many levels, and experience matters. This is where serious questions begin to surface. More experienced aerialists online have openly questioned her background, especially after the family's appearance on The Kelly Clarkson Show. One Reddit post from an experienced instructor highlights these concerns clearly. It reads, "So I'm an instructor with nearly 2 years of experience and have been an aerialist for 6 years. I was trained at a studio. From my understanding, which comes from directly on their Instagram page, the matriarch of this family only started doing skills last year during the lockdown, so not even an entire year ago, and has self-described as self-taught. This woman, with less than 1 year of aerial training, which is apparently self-instructed, is now going through an aerial teaching training program. No formal training and less than 1 year of experience. Most of the aerial teacher training programs I've looked at require at least 2 years of training. Yet this woman gets to be an exception? Why? Because they have 40,000 followers on Instagram? I don't understand." Next, the TRX mounts. What? I mean, how is their homeowner's insurance even valid? I'm not a gatekeeper, and I feel aerial is for everyone, but there has to be standards. This is setting such a dangerous precedent. Now, this criticism doesn't come from casual viewers. It comes from people within the aerial community, and it raises legitimate questions about training, experience, and safety standards. These concerns feel even more valid when looking at the incidents shown on the channel. Kelly herself has been injured in videos she's posted. Even as the instructor, she's gotten hurt.
I count on my kids to take care of me. Let's see if they do. Okay. Hey, Isabel, Mommy needs you.
Aerial gymnastics is a sport that involves risk, but that risk increases significantly when kids are involved and when content is prioritized over caution. There's multiple moments where safety appears secondary to filming. In one video, Isabel is shown standing in the back seat of a moving car. You could argue Kelly was there to catch her if she fell, but that doesn't explain why the situation was filmed at all. It was entirely avoidable.
You gotta buckle up.
In another video, Isabel rides a hoverboard straight into a pool. Again, this could have been stopped. Instead, it was recorded.
It lost its battery. We need to charge it.
We are what?
What makes the hoverboard incident especially troubling is what followed. Kelly is later recorded telling her husband that she would need to buy a new hoverboard so she could film his reaction. That moment makes the priorities clear. The damage itself was not the issue. The reaction was the content.
Hey, hon, I'm gonna run to Target real quick.
Why? I was just there. I got the chit you asked for.
Yeah, I know, but I gotta go get a new hoverboard.
What? Why? Why do you need a new hoverboard? Yeah.
I don't want to tell you, but here we are.
Here we are. What?
Come on. Promise you won't be mad.
Are you kidding? What'd you guys do?
Commenters immediately called this out. One said that parents should wait before replacing the hoverboard as a form of discipline. Others pointed out that instantly replacing it teaches the child that dangerous behavior has no consequences. These comments highlight a recurring pattern on the channel. These kids are spoiled in ways that directly serve the content. Reckless behavior leads to attention. Attention leads to reactions. Reactions lead to rewards. This pattern repeats throughout the channel. Risky behavior is allowed to happen because it makes engaging videos. Fear, chaos, and potential injury become plot points. The family is no longer just living life on camera. They're performing constantly. That is the core issue. The McFive Circus has turned its entire family into characters in an ongoing production. But unlike a show, there's no breaks, no off-camera lives, and no separation between content and reality. This is not something that happens occasionally. It is their everyday life, filmed, edited, and uploaded for millions of children to watch. And when kids grow up inside that environment, the long-term impact is something that deserves serious scrutiny. And one of the most useful ways to understand why is by comparing the McFive Circus children to child actors. Because while the situations look similar on the surface, the reality is very different. On the surface, both involve children performing for an audience, often under the direction of adults. And that's where the similarities start to break down in uncomfortable ways. Child actors, at least in theory, operate within a framework of protections. There are laws that regulate how long they can work, when they can work, and how much of their earnings must be protected. In many cases, Coogan accounts are required, ensuring that a portion of a child's income is set aside and legally inaccessible to parents. Productions are expected to provide tutors, welfare workers, and structured environments. There are union contracts and outside oversight. Even though abuse and exploitation still happens in the entertainment industry, there are at least mechanisms meant to prevent the worst outcomes. The McFive kids do not have any of that. They are not protected by child labor laws because what they are doing is classified as family vlogging. There are no enforced limits on filming hours, no mandated breaks, no neutral third party advocating for the kids' well-being, no requirement that earnings be saved for the children. No obligation to stop filming when emotions run high, when kids are crying, scared, or placed in risky situations. Everything is controlled internally by the same adults who profit from the content. And unlike traditional child actors, the McFive kids are not playing roles for a few hours on a set and then going home. Their home is the set. Their parents are the directors. Their daily lives, injuries, fears, and conflicts are the storyline. There is no clear separation between performance and reality. which is one of the most dangerous aspects of this kind of content. Another key difference is consent. A child actor may not fully understand what fame entails, but they're usually old enough to understand that they are acting in a specific project. The McFive kids, especially the younger ones, are being filmed constantly as a part of their normal lives. They cannot willingly opt out without disrupting the entire family's income and online presence. When your childhood is the product, there's no real way to step away. This comparison becomes even more troubling when you consider the audience. Child actors perform for general audiences, largely mediated through studios and broadcasters. The McFive kids perform directly to millions of viewers with little control over who's watching, why they're watching, or how they interpret the content. Which brings us to the comment section. According to the family, comment moderation on the McFive Circus channel is handled by Kelly's mother, the kids' grandmother. Her role is to remove inappropriate or disturbing content to keep the channel safe. Happy birthday to Kelly's mom. Her mom moderates the comments, so leave her some love and happy birthday wishes below. On paper, that sounds reassuring. In practice, it raises serious questions, because despite the moderation, some comments have still slipped through. We normally wouldn't repeat something like this, but it's important to understand the full extent of how disturbing the situation really is. One particularly disturbing example that appeared on the channel read as follows. Censored for obvious reasons. If Isabel makes it to America's Got Talent, have her, wearing a string bikini and barefoot, stand on a warm, oozing, very slowly sinking, shoulder-deep, extremely slimy quicksand cake, or get in a dunk tank of warm, thick, clear slime. Now this comment is not playful. It is not harmless. It is not something that can be brushed off as a misunderstanding or awkward phrasing. It is a graphic, fetish-coded description involving a minor, her body, and heavily specified sensory details. The fact that it was written at all is disturbing. The fact that it appeared publicly, even briefly, is worse. And this raises a chilling thought. If this is some kind of comment that slipped past moderation, what kind of comments are being deleted? If the kid's own grandmother is actively removing inappropriate remarks and this still made it through, then the volume and severity of what she's catching behind the scenes is likely far worse. That means the channel is attracting not only children, but adults who are engaging with the content in deeply concerning ways. The McFive Circus audience is overwhelmingly made up of kids, roughly 95%. That alone should demand extreme caution. But it's the remaining 5% that raises alarm bells. Why are adults watching this content? Not parents, not casual viewers. Adults who are leaving comments like the ones above are not there for wholesome family entertainment. They are there for reasons that no child-centered channel should ever enable. This is not speculation. This is a pattern seen across family vlogging channels that heavily feature young girls. Risky stunts, emotional vulnerability, and suggestive framing, even if unintentionally. These environments are known to attract people who use comment sections, timestamps, and coded language to engage with content involving minors. And yet, the channel continues to push Isabel as the poster child, continues to put her at the center of thumbnails, stunts, and dramatic storylines, continues to film her crying, performing, risking injury, and being framed in exaggerated scenarios, all while millions of strangers watch. At that point, moderation is not enough. Deleting comments doesn't undo the reality that this content is being consumed by people with harmful intentions. It doesn't protect the kids from being watched, clipped, shared, or fixated on. And it certainly doesn't address the deeper issue, that these children are being placed in a public spotlight they can't possibly understand, let alone consent to. When children are turned into content instead of participants, when their safety is secondary to engagement, and when disturbing adult attention becomes an unavoidable byproduct, the situation moves beyond family entertainment. It becomes something that demands serious scrutiny. And this brings us to the most important question of all. How does this environment affect the kids themselves? Not as characters, but as real children growing up inside the McFive Circus. Because let's be real, this isn't parenting. This is performance-based childhood. The kids aren't just existing, they're working, and their paycheck? Praise, attention, and whatever reward will keep the content machine running. One child is basically being used as an emotional prop, wheeled out whenever they need a sad storyline. Filmed during meltdown and tears zoomed in for maximum engagement, because nothing says family content like turning your child's emotional distress into a thumbnail. Very wholesome, very ethical.
You're my beautiful baby girl. My first baby.
Oh,
Remember bunny breasts?
yes.
Go ahead.
Meanwhile, the other child is being encouraged to go in the completely opposite direction. She's constantly rewarded for being loud, chaotic, and wildly entitled, like a tiny diva in training who's learned that the messier she is, the more attention she gets. Rules? Optional. Boundaries? Decorative. Consequences? Don't exist here. If anything, the worse the behavior, the bigger the reward. And here's where it gets messier than people think. These kids aren't just being filmed, they're being conditioned. One is taught that being upset equals love and attention, while the other learns that being outrageous means she can do absolutely whatever she wants. Two completely different roles, same end goal: keep the camera rolling. And trust when we say, there's a lot to unpack when it comes to these kids, especially the middle child, Isabella. She's basically been marketed as this sugar-obsessed, completely out-of-control kid. Like chaos is her entire personality. And keep in mind, she's 12. Not a toddler, 12. What makes it even more uncomfortable is the way she constantly speaks in a baby voice. Something she's openly admitted isn't even her real voice.
A lot of people think that you don't talk in your real voice.
Sometimes I do.
Yeah, sometimes. But what's your other voice?
What do you mean, my other voice?
Your little mama voice?
Hello, Santa. Did you know that I've been volunteering and helping others? So that means I should be on the nice list. Thank you. Me on the nice list. Me on the nice list.
Santa is not actually on the phone.
Oh, that voice. That's not my real voice. This is.
Oh yeah, what, can we hear the little mama voice? Can you make a change?
Hello.
We mean it's clearly part of the character, because apparently being loud, hyper, and infantilized is what gets the clicks. The problem is, when you brand a child this way, that image sticks. It stops being a joke and starts becoming an expectation. Now, Isabella goes by many names within the family, but the most popular has to be Little Mama. And no, this isn't a cute childhood nickname. It's because Kelly sees Isabella as a younger version of herself. According to Kelly, that means wild, free-spirited, and of course, crazy. So instead of letting a 12-year-old figure out who she actually is, she's been handed a pre-written personality and a label to match.
Hey, just wondering, why is your nickname Little Mama? Well, let me tell you. I had two siblings, one older, one younger. I always had to help Jordan open things and take care of her. And Preston, I always changed his diapers. But seriously, guys, I always liked taking care of my siblings. Like a mama. Like little mama. When I grow up, I want to be a mommy. Bye-bye!
Little Mama isn't just a nickname, it's a brand. And once again, it feels less like a kid being a kid, and more like someone being groomed to play a role that conventionally fits the family's content narrative. We mean, just look at this.
We could have my Gucci on. Gucci on! We could have my Louis Vuitton. But even with nothing on, we make you what? We make you what?
Isabel!
No! My spaghetti! You ruined it!
However, the second name the parents have given her is what really raises eyebrows. Because if you head over to their channel and watch even a handful of videos, you'll notice that Kelly regularly refers to Isabella as an it, and yes, an it. A literal object, which at best is wildly inappropriate and at worst, straight up dehumanizing. What makes this worse is that she's completely aware of how people react to it. The viewers have called it out, questioned it, criticized it, and yet it keeps happening. Because let's be honest here, this isn't accidental. It's rage bait. She knows what gets people angry. She knows it drives engagement, and she keeps doing it anyways. We mean, just look at this. This is not how you address a child. Not for laughs, not for content, and definitely not as a recurring joke.
And maybe you're wondering, just maybe, how does it get on the balcony? Let me show you.
Me, rock climber!
And somehow, it doesn't stop there. Kelly also insists that Isabella likes being called an it. Whenever she's asked to explain why she refers to her middle child that way, She claims that Isabella loves it. By calling her this and essentially dehumanize her, she's actually encouraging her to be herself.
I would actually consider myself to be an it as well, because like you have to have like it tendencies, which is like being a crazy kid and kind of just like having a free spirit and being, I don't know, like not human-like in some ways. Don't know how to explain it, but we're its. Live with it.
You know what I need? My ant button.
Your ant button? What's that?
Which, sure, because nothing says empowerment like stripping a kid of basic human language and turning it into a personality trait. According to Kelly, this isn't disrespect, it's self-expression. And if that sounds backwards, that's because it is. Now, Isabella has her own separate channel with over 490,000 subscribers, where there's a similar video floating around, the camera shoved right in her face, asking if she likes being called an it. And of course, she says yes, because what else is she supposed to say?
And also, do you like being called an it, or do you want me to stop?
I like being called an it. Don't stop. Don't stop!
And this is the most important part of all this. Blaine and Kelly are the ones putting her in this position. This is a child being asked a question on camera with a phone inches from her face, knowing full well what answer is expected. There is no real choice here. This is the character she's been boxed into, rewarded for, and trained to lean into. As long as she keeps playing that role, the chaotic, dehumanized shock value kid, the videos keep coming, the praise keeps rolling in, and the love stays conditional. That's why we say these kids are being conditioned, whether people want to admit it or not. And Isabella especially has been the center of their account for a long time. One quick look at the McFive YouTube channel makes it obvious. Clickbait titles with her name splashed everywhere, thumbnails frozen on her crying, screaming, or mid-meltdown. She's essentially carrying the engagement, driving the views, and bringing in the money for the family, all by being exactly what her parents have decided she should be. And if you think this is bad, give it a second, because it gets worse. The titles and videos aren't just dramatic or exaggerated anymore. Some of them are literally built around the idea of a child's death. The McFive family seems disturbingly obsessed with pushing that narrative, constantly putting out content suggesting Isabella and their eldest daughter Jordan are dead, missing, or have been in some horrific accident, all with their crying faces plastered front and center in the thumbnail. We mean, just look at the video titles. This isn't normal clickbait. This is using fear, shock, and a child's vulnerability as a marketing strategy. R.I.P. Little Mama. What happened to Little Mama? With a picture of her passed out on the floor. Little Mama is lost. Right before Jordan died, Jordan fell to the ground. Basically, a lot of clickbait content around lost siblings and babies. And some more disturbing content like this. Little Mama is having a baby. We mean, what even is this? Honestly, we don't really understand why any parent in the world would create storylines like this. Videos that even hint at their child being dead or a 12-year-old being pregnant. Yet for some reason, the McFive family has decided that making content about their kids being crushed, injured, or gone is fair game. And honestly, it's disgusting on a whole new level. But looking at it objectively, it's not hard to see why they're doing it. The reason is always the same: views. They post these clickbait videos, and people feel compelled to click. Some of their adult audience probably know the whole thing is staged, but a huge portion of their viewers are kids, and some of those kids are taking it completely at face value. For example, the family once made a prank video where they pretended Isabella had died, and some viewers actually believed it. People were genuinely concerned, asking if she was okay, or even expressing sympathy for the family. Please don't tell me she's dead. If Isabella's dead, my life is over. You hear me? I loved her craziness. She can't be dead. Guys, what is happening? Why is this still popular? It's been a month. Hi, Kelly. I'm truly sorry for what has happened to Isabel. I can't begin to imagine what you and your family are going through right now. I will be thinking of all of you, and you have my full support and love from your fan and good friend, Andy. However, when it comes to the dehumanizing aspect, Kelly has made countless videos attempting to explain why she calls her daughter an it. Spoiler alert, none of them actually do the job. The only explanation she ever gives is that Isabella supposedly likes being called that. And if that wasn't bizarre enough, she even posted a video of Isabella licking a window and captioned it saying, "I hope this helps explain why the middle child is a whole other breed and its own species. Hence, she's an it. And if you're wondering, she loves being called it. She loves that she marches to her own beat. I encourage her to be herself, and that I wouldn't want her to be like anyone else but her."
And everybody wonders why I call your sister an it. That's why. Yeah, that's exactly why. Ew.
Oh,
It's an animal.
dude, go brush your teeth.
Mom, she's up there again.
Up there
What?
again. It's a file again.
Again, Kelly? What have you been doing?
Now, this is something we feel is really important to talk about. The whole character of Lil Mama is centered around being the chaotic, sugar-fueled middle child, basically playing into the classic stereotype that middle children are just crazy. And sure, it might just seem like harmless fun within the family, but the issue here is that we don't actually know if this is Isabella's natural personality, or if she's just acting this way because she's being constantly encouraged and even rewarded for it. The second point is that she's not exactly a little kid anymore. She's 12, and if her parents keep feeding into this behavior, it's going to stick and potentially become a really problematic part of her personality. If she isn't constantly pampered and rewarded for throwing tantrums, imagine how she might act out at school, confused, frustrated, and likely lashing out.
Hey! You killed Ariel!
So yeah, there's that. And when we say she's rewarded for throwing tantrums, we really mean it. She's constantly given sugar, candies, sugary drinks, and basically allowed to run around the house completely unrestrained. Her parents just shrug and say, that's just her. She likes sugar. But here's the thing, they have full control over this. Sugar isn't some mysterious force. It's literally something they can limit, yet they don't. And that sends a clear message. Acting out gets you what you want. Isabella also has this signature drink she calls Icy, and if she can't get it, big tantrum incoming.
That thing is a dinosaur. You wanna pet it?
Look at his hands. His hands are nuts.
We even came across a video Kelly recorded where Isabella had apparently written on the walls in frustration because she couldn't get her drink.
Isabella! What are you doing?
You want icy? See, me want icy.
Now, this video is something that we found completely odd, and honestly, so did a lot of other people. Viewers quickly pointed out that it's pretty much impossible for Isabella to have written all those huge letters on the wall by herself. She must have had some assistance. Makes sense, right? But here's where it gets really bizarre. Kelly actually made a video addressing this, insisting that Isabella wrote it all by herself.
Wondering if my videos are staged and why I call Little Mama an it. We just painted that 2 weeks ago. How hard that would be to paint all that? No, it's not staged.
However, fast forward a few months and she admits that it was actually Kelly who wrote it, and that she was the real it.
Since we're all gonna die, there's one more secret I feel I have to share with you. I did not care for The Godfather.
What?
Did not care for The Godfather.
How can you even say that, Dad?
Didn't like it.
Peter, it's so good. It's like the...
By this point, you probably have a pretty good idea of just how staged a lot of the content is. How much of the tantrums, crying, and drama are manufactured by Kelly and her husband, versus what's actually authentic. But with Isabella, things reach a whole new level of concerning. For instance, this video of her throwing tantrums and screaming like a maniac.
Brownie too.
Hey, Mommy ate my brownie!
I ate a lot of brownie.
And Daddy did without me!
Thank you.
And I got none!
Now, let's be very clear. We're not criticizing Isabella here. Honestly, there's nothing to criticize about a 12-year-old. The point is, she's probably being told how to act, encouraged to perform, and shaped into this chaotic character for rage bait clicks and shock value. It's honestly sad to see how these kids are being used. Their personalities molded purely for views and engagement. And one example of this shaping comes from a past storyline involving America's Got Talent. In one vlog, Kelly announces that Isabella is going to audition for the show. The announcement is dramatic, filled with the kind of over-the-top excitement that has become the standard for the channel. Isabella is shown practicing, hyped up and bouncing with energy, the camera capturing every exaggerated movement.
Hey, Isabel.
What?
We have have some time before your audition, so I was thinking, do you want to get an icy?
Me want an icy!
Let's go.
Yay!
I can't tell if she's nervous or not, but I feel like an icy will help settle any nerves she might have for today.
At first glance, it looks like she's a proud parent sharing a milestone. But knowing how the channel operates, it's hard to separate reality from performance. Shortly afterward, another video was uploaded revealing that Isabella didn't make it. The clip starts with Kelly filming her daughter as she delivers the news. Isabella immediately begins crying, saying, "But I worked so hard." Her shoulders were slumped. Tears fall down her face, and the vlog lingers on this emotional moment, framed with music and captions that emphasize the drama.
Did I get him an AGT?
So that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I don't think you did.
I worked so hard.
You did work really hard, but they, it's been a month and
I
they,
worked so hard.
Isabel.
Whether she genuinely auditioned or not is unclear, but the effect is the same. A child's disappointment becomes the storyline for thousands of viewers. What's concerning is how the moment is presented. Even if Isabella truly auditioned, the framing and editing turned a private, painful emotion into a performance. If it's scripted, she's being asked to act for the camera. Either way, she's in a position where her feelings, be it authentic or guided, serve as content. It's part of the ongoing pattern on the McFive Circus channel. Real emotions and reactions are consistently transformed into entertainment. This incident highlights how boundaries are blurred and raises bigger questions about consent and childhood development. A 12-year-old's natural reaction to disappointment is manipulated into spectacle. It sends the implicit message that emotions are not for personal processing, but for public consumption. And while the audience is mostly children, the pressure to perform, dramatize, and be engaging brings shape to how Isabella experiences and expresses herself. What's even more concerning is the situation with her eldest daughter, Jordan. And trust us when we say, it's just heartbreaking. Jordan seems to struggle with regulating her emotions and suffers from anxiety. And instead of supporting her and making sure the family environment is suitable for her to manage her feelings, Kelly and Blaine have basically made it impossible for her to ever find a moment of peace. The constant shouting, chaos, and high-energy antics are exhausting, especially for a kid with sensory processing challenges. It's not just annoying, it can be genuinely harmful. And honestly, you can see the effect. Jordan is almost always on edge, while Isabella is encouraged to scream, shout, and create havoc, exactly the way her parents want. It's a household where chaos is rewarded and calm is ignored, leaving the eldest child constantly stressed and overstimulated.
Bunny breaths?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And it doesn't stop there. Not only do these parents completely misunderstand their daughter's struggles, like sensory issues or anxiety, but they also record every meltdown. Kelly has captured Jordan crying and struggling to regulate herself so many times that it becomes almost infuriating to watch.
Hey, Jordan.
Yes?
Do you want to do some circus time?
Maybe.
Okay. I just want to let you know I have some new choreography for us today.
Ooh.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Really?
Yes. I'm scared.
Honestly, leave the kid alone. Put the camera down. Let her breathe. There are countless videos of Kelly filming Jordan while she's clearly overwhelmed, and even pushing her to do aerial silks or other activities when she's just not in the mood. It's like her emotions exist solely as content for the camera, rather than something her parents should be supporting her through. And to make matters even more bizarre, Kelly posts all of these videos under the label of special needs, which honestly is a very outdated and problematic term. She even uploaded a video onto YouTube with the caption explicitly pointing it out. Jordan is my oldest and has some special needs. She's diagnosed with anxiety and sensory processing disorder. Some challenges can feel like mountains to her. Over the years, she's gone through occupational therapy, speech therapy, tutoring, play therapy, summer school programs, and more. And somehow, with all that working against her, she's still so courageous. She is such a brave girl, going through the world with such a big heart. That's why I call her my sweetheart. However, she also wrote some captions on the video, which read, "She was the perfect baby, but then we noticed something wrong at the age of 2. Honestly, it's wild to think that in their eyes, a child can only be perfect if she doesn't experience anxiety or sensory issues, which is not only unrealistic, but also harmful to both the kid and the people watching. On top of that, you can see in many of the videos that Jordan doesn't even want to be on camera. She doesn't want to be a part of the aerial tricks or challenges, yet she's forced by her mother to do it anyways. And the worst part, they stage it to make it look like Jordan is pulling through, celebrating it as a triumph with motivational somber music playing in the background, which is honestly disgusting. Forcing a child to do something they don't want to do while overstimulated and struggling to regulate their emotions is about the worst thing you can do to a kid. And yet it's filmed, posted, and packaged as content for clicks.
Hey. You want to do some circus? You not feel good?
I'm fine.
Well, you want to do circus with me? Accentuate.
And it doesn't stop there. Kelly also records Jordan crying, talking about how she gets picked on by other kids at school. And honestly, there's no attempt to address it. No conversation, no support, just a sad song playing in the background, like they're trying to glamorize everything she's going through. And the worst part is that this has actually become a recurring pattern on the channel.
Oh, there's Jordan. Hey.
Hi.
How's your day?
Bad.
What do you mean?
Just bad.
Was something happen in school?
Yes.
What happened?
Somebody picked on me today.
Who picked on you today?
It happens mostly every day, and it's always the worst day. School is hard.
And like we said, this is not the only time. Jordan is constantly portrayed on the channel as the sad, struggling, problematic type.
Hey! How's your day?
Good.
Jordan! Jordan!
Just she's had a hard day. Okay.
Wait. Jordan, wait!
Mom, just stop. She wants to be left alone.
What happened?
I don't know. She won't tell me.
Okay.
Honestly, we can kind of understand why she might be getting picked on at school. And looking at her reaction in these videos, we really hope she's acting, because it just seems so real. She genuinely seems sad, and if that were true, it's heartbreaking. But the bigger issue here is about privacy and respect. You don't record your child crying, having a breakdown, and in a moment of vulnerability, and then post it online for all of their friends, classmates, and strangers to see. That's not just insensitive, it's harmful. Parents need to understand that what they put online about their kids' lives doesn't just stay in the house. It follows them everywhere. And in this case, it's affecting Jordan in ways that are very visible and potentially long-lasting. Meanwhile, Isabella is being rewarded for being problematic, screaming and causing chaos, while Jordan only gets the spotlight when it's about her emotional struggles or her diagnoses. One child is used to entertain and generate clicks. The other is put on display as a cautionary tale. It's a twisted dynamic, and the content makes it clear whose behavior gets rewarded and whose gets exploited. The dynamic between Isabella and Jordan becomes even more uncomfortable when you watch how the parents respond, or fail to respond, during conflicts. In multiple videos, Jordan is visibly distressed while Isabella lashes out. In one scene, Jordan is buried in sand on a beach while Isabella pours water over her face. Kelly films the interaction, occasionally expressing surface-level concern but never intervenes. In another clip captioned, "It's in a mood today," Isabella jumps on Jordan and her discomfort is clear.
What's wrong with you? Having a bad day? I'm sorry. Jordan, just watch out, okay? Wait, no. Oh, poor Jordan.
While these moments are probably scripted for dramatic effect, they still feel like type-beat chaos, staged but crafted to generate engagement. This sense of favoritism is reinforced by recurring favorite child content. Kelly has openly named Isabella as her favorite in short clips.
I am your mother. But you listen to me, stop all the mansplaining. No one's listening. Shh. Tell me who gave you the permission to speak. I am your mother.
While naming a favorite might seem harmless, in the context of the channel, it shapes behavior. The main driver of engagement receives attention, praise, and indulgences, while Jordan is shown struggling, anxious, or less than perfect. Even when Kelly changes her verbal answer, actions like giving treats or privileges consistently favor Isabella, teaching the children that chaos and performance are rewarded. Viewed together, a pattern emerges. Jordan is positioned as the anxious, struggling child, whose distress is filmed and dramatized. She's repeatedly pushed into situations she doesn't want to be in, from stunts to enduring her sister's antics. Isabella, meanwhile, is trained to be the star, rewarded for drama and attention. Parental reinforcement, or lack thereof it, cements these roles, shaping behavior for content rather than nurturing individual personalities or emotional needs. Even when moments like this are likely staged, Jordan's anxiety and discomfort are real. The scripted chaos creates a type of content beat viewers expect. Isabella acts out, Jordan reacts, and the camera stays on them. The children perform, but the emotional weight is genuine. Every jump, scream, and meltdown is curated to engage the audience and emphasize the family hierarchy. Millions of children watch these videos daily, learning to associate attention with dramatic behavior, and perhaps internalizing that some children are preferred whilst others are tolerated. Childhood becomes a set of reactions, stunts, and dramatized interactions packaged for an audience. The McFive Circus illustrates how family vlogging can go beyond harmless entertainment. Children are positioned as performers and props, with one consistently rewarded and the other used as a backdrop for drama. Parental guidance is replaced with content production, and the channel encourages performance and spectacle over genuine care. Growing up in a space where attention is conditional risks long-term effects on identity, self-esteem, and emotional resilience. Jordan may internalize that her worth depends on compliance or endurance, while Isabella may struggle to separate performative behavior from authentic self-expression. In both cases, the line between who they are and who they are expected to be is not drawn by their own choices, but by engagement metrics and parental reinforcement. The McFive Circus is more than a family YouTube channel. It's a case study in modern digital childhood, where viewers dictate behavior, relationships, and identity. Children perform continuously, with personal boundaries, privacy, and safety subordinate to audience engagement. Beneath the veneer of family fun lies a web of power, reward, and exposure. The parents in action, encouragement of chaos, and favoritism point to a fundamental problem. Childhood is being sacrificed for entertainment. The videos may be bright and fast-paced, but they reveal the real cost of performing life online. The channel thrives on spectacle, yet does so at the expense of the children at its center. While viewers watch millions of thumbnails and dramatic captions, the experiences of the children remind us that the cost of this kind of fame are real and often invisible. On that note, we're going to end today's video. If you've made it this far, don't forget to hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about this family dynamic? Do you feel these kids are being used as props for content? Or do you think scripted family videos are fine as long as they bring in views and engagement?